I would look at NFTs very similarly to the way that you might want to buy a car, right? Meaning that when you want to buy a car, first you ask the question, why do you want it? You know, some people might want to buy a Ferrari. You know, certainly those who buy a Ferrari in Hong Kong, I don't think it's because they can drive fast in Hong Kong, right? It's kind of hard to do that, you know, given the roads and everything. But they probably might buy it because they want to show their status. They might want to show that there's someone in that society. Maybe they love the car as well, but you know, there's many beautiful cars out there as well, right? You know, for the same reason that someone might want to buy a Tesla, maybe because he wants to signal to people that he's very environmentally friendly, or maybe just because he likes the car and the way that it's cool or whatever. The point is though, that each of these decisions, when you buy them, are very personal in nature, right? In the same way that when you buy a car, you can also think of it as utility. Like when you think about things like our Rev Racing or Sandbox Land or Axie Infinity, when you buy these NFTs, they have utility. They can generate yield because you can play it inside the games, as opposed to, for instance, something like a Bored Ape, which has some fascinating aspects about it today, but for the time being is mostly a collectible, although that might be changing in the future. But still, the whole point is that when you buy an asset, you study it and you think about sort of how I use it and what I'm using it for, right? So if you want something for utility, maybe you go for, I don't know, a Nissan or Toyota. If you want to show off, maybe you go extreme, you get a Rolls Royce. Like whatever the reason is that you're buying a car, the same way I think you should approach non-fungible tokens, right? And the value of these will then depend on that study that you have. It's the same way that very few of us walk into a store and buy a car within 5 minutes. We don't just walk in and say, hey, I like that car, let's just go, right? That might be reserved for a very privileged few, but for most of us, these are informed decisions that we make. We ask people, we read research, we study it, right? We sort of hem and haw until we make a decision, say, that's my right car. Maybe because I need it for family, or maybe because I want to show off, or maybe just because it's just damn cool, and everyone in the community will think I'm sort of, the biggest thing there is. Whatever the reason it is that you're buying your car, I think for NFTs, it's very similar. So approach it that way, and I think you won't make a decision that I think, I can't speak of someone's regret, but at least you'll come to a decision that you're comfortable with, right? And, if you end up making money from it, even better, right? But, when you buy a car, very few people think of buying a car as an avenue of making money because it's typically a depreciating asset, right? But you buy it for a reason, that it goes beyond making a profit, because otherwise we shouldn't be buying cars at all. So I think it's the same way, and then I think you'll be fine.